Another 1-1 into it?
This lane?
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, if it were me going on it, I would literally keep chasing that thing to the right, because it's going to literally give you fucking minutes. I'd go another 1-1 right on 6. 5 looks to be okay thus far.
Yeah, that other one I just missed.
I have no idea what hit that. I thought you said it 10. I think she was in the way of it. I didn't see the second one.
I don't know what hit it.
Nope.
That does look. I'll just joke. Did you put that way up and he said on it?
What I don't remember what he said. I think I did 4x4x1. I don't remember. I know the pins went up here.
4x4x2.
Well, okay, well we made it close. Thank God. Get us the flare more.
He said it's gotta be close.
Well, if you drill them like stronger and polish it, you can shape it like, you can actually shape it like it's
So that could be a
itself.
good one.
What I was gonna say is like for the US Open, you may want to go fucking free about it. You didn't throw urethane like that anyway, but I imagine it's gonna be bad this year at the US Open.
Well, yeah, he's gonna play.
You're gonna be short and it's tough. I'll do it. I just stay patient. Because the approaches are good. They're gonna get worse. They're gonna heat up. left on this left leg.
Slow shaking of 505.
Oh, level? That's the rest of our level.
I think
Never worked. We drove actually pretty similar to this. Never worked.
I'm pretty sure we both drove on the same day and we threw like 5 shots on it.
Mine never hooked. Mine literally never went to the left. That's it.
Who mind the box on it?
I think they crashed. Every shot they say is like that. Yeah. If you go to a pro shop that is against that, you need to go find it. You need to go to the guy who was writing out this. Yeah, I saw that last night. Like this. Like at like 12:30. What about it? I was like, hey, did you see that smooth though? I want to know how much the ball got fucked up, or if that was just like it had to just been right. That's it. It's probably your deal.
I have another one, I think.
The only one flickers the red belt deal. I'm going to that fucking
I
ball.
think I have that.
You need to find a way to do it. You really have to go. You have your zero.
Oh, yeah, I have it in my car. I just like, it's because I can't sit. Like,
I know.
Or I can't sign. I'm not even throwing the ball.
No, you're also not like totally fine.
No, I know. Should I get a little right?
Get closer to it. the move?
That way.
You know what? You never know nowadays. Sometimes you got lanes going like that. I hate those moves.
It depends. If I get a bad cross game one, I like those moves.
Correct. There's times when I'm like, yes. And there's other times I'm like, I kind of want to have you throw this, but I know it's not going to work. Go to this. Go 3 and 2 left. That hooked a lot more than the first time.
Yeah, it did. I didn't think that was that. I didn't miss my that.
What's the move?
I think we just moved one to the right. Okay, my mom was 2 months. I lied, 15.
That's a little different than 1 to the right. I didn't think it was going to hook that much the second time. Yeah, I also need to give you that big roll of tape, and I'll take that one. Well, I changed my fit, so I don't use as much tape.
I know who it is. Thank you.
If Eli's been slacking, so I can't replace him.
In the friend group?
He said this dog's gonna go everywhere for this summer. I said in the car.
Yeah. That's a long hair. That'll be a long hair dog. No, because then we have to let out. No, Alex has a house enough for that. Mr. Bunny, dragon, fish.
All right, welcome here to the broadcast of the Indiana Queens here on Savage Bowling TV, Championship Lanes, Anderson, Indiana, the location here. A squad underway. Game number 1 has been completed. We're in the beginning stages of game number 2. Ladies will bowl 4 games here this morning, and then we'll have a re-oil, strip and re-oil, and they'll bowl a B squad, I believe at 1 o'clock. Is that right, Chad?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. And we'll have 4 more games, and then the top 16 ladies, after 2 squads combined, will participate in match play at 5 p.m. here on Savage Bowling TV. We thank you for watching. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester here in the broadcast booth. Mike Albee will be joining us a little bit later on this afternoon. And setting things up here for you, all kinds of past champions are in this qualifying squad.
A lot.
In fact, the defending champion, Tandis O'Neill, is bowling right now. Breaking news, not necessarily breaking news, and no pun intended, but luckily it's not a break, but Natalie Tackett will not be bowling this weekend, the 2024 champion. She slipped and fell walking out of their motorhome earlier this week while she was getting ready to watch EJ bowl one of his qualifying squads, and luckily for her, it did not break. Her wrist did not break, but it is, she's got some ligament damage and will not be able to participate. So she's watching EJ bowl today at the U.S. Open. Unfortunately for us, she had plans of bowling here at the Queens. We won't see her here this afternoon. Well, we wish Natalie all the best, and obviously she's going to be rooting on EJ, and EJ's got some work to do today to climb into that top 5.
Yeah, 16 games to do it. That's a lot of bowling. So,
want to thank our sponsors here this afternoon: Victory Lane Pro Shops, A1 Automotive, Pinheads Entertainment, Mike Albee's Arrowhead Bowl, the Brands of Brunswick, and Championship Lanes. And all of their contributions have made this broadcast possible here on Savage Bowling TV, the official voice of the premier scratch events of the Indiana USBC. Getting my second cup of coffee in. Long day of broadcasting this afternoon. You got to keep that voice, throat nice and warm. Obviously warm outside right now. Made things a little bit difficult here this morning. Approach is a little on the tacky side. Ladies are adjusting to that. It has, I would say the temperature has dropped in the center here, probably maybe 10 degrees.
Yeah, and it's dropped outside, so that's part of the reason why. But they, like you said earlier when we were talking, the approaches should get better throughout the day.
Absolutely. The more wear, more dirt.
Cooler it's going to get in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is one of our favorite events of the year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We love broadcasting the Queens. We've had so much drama over the last several years, some fantastic matches, lots of drama, and it should be the same, I would expect, this year. A lot of really good, young, talented ladies here bowling, along with some of the, what we would say, veterans of this event. Alexis Carter, who's won it twice, 2019, 2021. She's bowling in this squad. Shelby New is here. Kimberly Woodall is bowling, the 2016 champion. Faith Hall is bowling. She has not won, but she's been right there.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I believe runner-up last year, the year before.
Yeah, it's one of those 2 years. Yeah, once we get to match play, what's exciting about this event is most of the matches are really close.
Yeah.
And good scoring.
I believe, actually, not to interrupt you, too, I believe Faith Hall was runner-up when Ashley Jackson won it in 2023.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Of course, we talked to State Hall of Famer Linda Burns before qualifying started, and Linda not bowling today because of a shoulder injury she experienced back in the fall. I believe she said October. And unusual.
Yeah,
she had the front 11.
Interesting story.
Front 11. She's trying to shoot a 290 or 300 game.
Yeah.
And on her final shot, she felt a burning sensation in her right arm. I believe she left a solid 10 pin. And her 12th shot shoots 299 and then has a rotator cuff injury to her shoulder.
Yeah, and there's a bicep injury too.
Yeah.
I think too. Didn't pop it, but it did some damage and she
Yeah.
had surgery.
So
What a story though. Like,
yeah, and I think it was actually she was lucky that it wasn't a rotator cuff injury.
yeah,
but it
well,
was more
yeah.
into the
The
some ligament and then some bicep.
bicep. Yeah, but
Yeah.
well, I think when she was talking to us, she was talking more about the bicep popping because that is pretty major.
Well, she's been out
Regardless, she's out
Yeah.
for a while.
bowling. She said roughly what, like
2
she's
games.
allowed to bowl 2 games,
Yeah.
and that's about it. But it was great to see her this morning, and she said, "I'll be back next year."
Yeah, she said, yeah, I can bowl 2 games, and I've done that, and I'm shooting 220, 230, and I just want to keep bowling more, but they keep telling me not to push it, which it's a good idea. You don't want to re-injure yourself and have to have surgery again.
Yeah. Well, really, the Queens is about the only thing that has eluded Linda Burns in her
Yeah.
career. So, and we talked about that it was time maybe to see a Burns banner here on the masking unit, and she agreed.
See if they have any standings updated.
All right. And don't forget, fans, we ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of the bowling action here from the premier scratch events for the Indiana USBC. In addition to that, we also have all of the top high school action throughout the season. We just finished Indiana High School State Finals and then the All-State event just last week right here from Championship Lanes. And then after this event, the Queens will have pretty much about a 2-month break. And then we'll be back in Richmond at the Richmond 40 for middle school state finals. And that is a program that has grown immensely.
And that's good news for youth bowling and high school bowling because hopefully those kids keep bowling once they get into high school. And then high school bowling grows and,
Right. And then
not a bad thing.
Yeah, then after that we'll have a little bit of a short break and we'll have the Indiana-Kentucky All-Stars from Expo Bowl, I
Expo,
believe.
yep.
Expo in
Unless they
Indianapolis.
changed it on us, but last
Yeah.
time I heard,
Yeah.
it's at Expo, yes.
Yeah, we'll be there, and then we'll have the
Hall of Fame.
Hall
the
of
next
Fame
week-
banquet.
The very next weekend, and then we
Then-
got a long break until the fall, and we can enjoy our summer. And
Yeah. It goes by fast. The older you get, Chad, those warmer months go by in a hurry.
right. Of
Again-
course, we've been teased with the warm weather for the last 2 days, so yesterday was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it was great for us, but it's not great for the ladies here bowling
No,
this
I
morning.
agree. I agree.
They would prefer it to be nice and cold outside.
Yep.
Always helps. But it's getting colder in here as the day has moved on. Just almost 10:30 this morning here.
Temperature is supposed to drop outside throughout the day today, so
It's going to be a long afternoon and evening for us.
yeah.
That's okay. It's one of our favorite events of the year.
Hopefully by about 7:30 tonight, we'll have a champion. And it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of talented ladies out here today.
80
And more to come.
Yeah.
Next shift.
80 entries this morning. Several already signed up to bowl the next squad, and of course, you'll probably have some re-entry out of this one.
If you're in the YouTube chat, I did pin where you can find the standings. It's in the team app. They have not been updated yet. Usually that first game, first squad, we don't get them very quickly because the tournament staff's usually still making, well, I'd say getting organized and all that. So once they're there, you'll be able to see him. I know that what they did in the Masters, they just shared their Google sheet. So it updated live. They didn't have to upload anything.
Well, in addition to subscribing to our YouTube channel, we ask you to become a fan of our Facebook page, Savage Bowling TV. Hope you enjoyed last night's coverage of round 1 of match play. I was able to get some great highlights and a lot of good interviews. I tried to get all of the top 5. Patrick Dombrowski was able to sneak out of the bowling center before I could get a hold of him, but we had interviews with 4 of the top 5. If you haven't seen any of those, you need to go on our Facebook page and check out those videos. A really good interview from A.J. Johnson, and we spoke at the end of it about his health scare.
Oh, yeah,
last week.
Peanut allergy or whatever?
Yeah,
that's scary stuff.
He had something and didn't realize that it had peanut butter in it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I don't think what people realize, when you have a peanut allergy and you accidentally eat anything with peanut in it, you are at a severe health risk.
Yeah, you can,
And
your throat closes up and
you don't have a whole lot of time.
No.
And so he told me how Bailey Maverick's uncle actually helped him get to the emergency room and was able to stay with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was a very scary situation. And
well, for some of those people, like and I didn't realize this until somebody said it, that if there's something in whatever you're eating that has peanut oil in it, same thing, could trigger that allergy. But yeah, luckily he's okay. I mean, that's a scary thing to go through. I know my wife is allergic to shellfish, and she had the same thing happen to her when she was like 12 years old. Didn't know it. That's when she found out.
Yeah.
So she was able to get to the emergency room, thank God. But yeah, her whole face swelled up and her throat closed, and it was bad.
Yeah, it's a very scary situation.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie asking about the scores. We don't know. They haven't posted them yet.
I saw 228 right here in front of us on 5 and 6.
I haven't paid any attention. Been fulfilling my social media duties here at first, and as soon as we get those scores, we'll pass those along.
Yeah. Just keep checking that team app. Keep refreshing the standings, and they'll get it on there. In fact, I'm going to go see.
All right. All right, if you're going to check out any of the U.S. Open on Bowl TV, that's fine. Make sure you come back here to us and follow along with the Queens. We'll be following scores this morning from Indianapolis, too, as well. E.J. Tackett, Indiana's own best bowler on the planet, sitting in, I believe, 11th or 12th place after round number 1. And usually when EJ struggles just a bit, he has the ability to rebound in a big way, and he's going to have to. I think he was about 150 or 60 pins out of the number in 5th. Anthony Simonson once again bowling extremely well at the U.S. Open, looking to add another major to his resume. Jason Belmonte trying to make the show, and if he wins the U.S. Open, that would complete the career Grand Slam 2 times over if Jason Belmonte can win on Sunday in Indianapolis. If you like the U.S. Open and the PBA, make sure you join us tomorrow. We're going to be at the show, getting you some behind-the-scenes action and interviews.
Yeah, and we'll have a larger video we'll put out on YouTube maybe by Monday or Tuesday. We can get some interviews and behind the scenes. We'll just kind of combine it all together. It should be fun. We don't know what kind of access we will get just because we haven't been at a TV show for 5 years.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I mean, they seem to be pretty excited we're going to be there. So I'm looking forward to it. The standings should be getting posted here shortly. Austin in the tournament office is working on it as I walked in. So he was just trying to figure out formulas, I guess.
Well, I was looking for our printer.
I asked him about our printer. I said, where's our printer? He goes, you didn't buy it. I was like, we didn't talk about that. He's like, split the cost? I was like, no, I don't know what we'll use it for.
That's, what they got to realize is we need all that information.
Yeah.
So
I was teasing him about it because I was like, that's what I said. It's like, where's our printer? All right. Let's see here.
Well, our 2009 champion and 2011 champion, Jenny Ferguson, is working in the tournament office. I was going to ask her, how are you going to add number 3 to your resume when you're working on the other side of the table? Didn't get a chance to ask her that, but
oops. I'm trying to get to the team app, and I clicked out of it. Looked like the standings was posted, but he didn't have anybody, has not given anybody access to view.
Yeah, we'll click over.
So he's probably working on that too. Let's see.
Standings. Yeah, I don't see it updated yet.
I had to reload. We'll get it. There it is. Live standings. And click. Oh. He's going to get an email because I request access. So if he's going to have it in the team app, he'll need to change some settings on his sheet probably.
Yeah, I don't see it listed yet. I'm the old-fashioned guy. I prefer a piece of paper.
I know.
Well, you like to kind of stay in the chat. Appreciate everybody tuning in here this morning for
there we go.
A Squad.
All right, I want to share my screen.
All right, did you go to did you click our link up above?
Standings. If you're in the Queens, and then.
I do not.
Oh. Are you in the Queens app?
I'm in Indiana, Queens.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, shoot. Let me see here.
Yeah, let's. So if I go
Queens and then standings, hit reload. That's what I had to do.
I keep.
And there should be a live link there.
I don't know if.
Oh, it's because you're maybe not logged in, but it shouldn't matter. I'm logged into my account. So, well, I'm going to share screen anyways, so you guys see. It's not a very nice format, but you can see it.
Yeah, Marissa Carey leading the way with 228. Again, look at that, Chad. Only 10 players. Yeah, 11 players, even or better.
Yeah, and people were asking about the pattern. It's not posted in the team app, but it is the Kegel Challenge Series Broadway version 2. It's 37 feet, 4.77 to 1, 26 mils. So there is a lot of free hook out there for these ladies. So it could play flatter than what it actually is. Back to live action. I'll give you guys some scores too.
Well, that would require me to remember my password. I don't. I'll probably be
anymore. I just use Facebook, and then if you're logged into Facebook on your browser, it's just going to log you in there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's why you make the big bucks around here.
Yep, I bring the tech needs. All right, they bowl 4 games, so they're about halfway through their squad.
All right, bowlers finishing up here. Game number 2, looking in front, we have a 206. Chance here for a 200 game even, 198. Right now, Chad, 200, 198, those are pretty good scores when you think about it.
Right, right. Hey, for those of you in the chat, how's the picture quality? Because I say it says I have a good connection, but not an excellent connection like it always says. How's it look over there for you? You at your end?
Looks fine to me.
Looks fine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, who all? Everyone that's watching this morning, let us know where you're watching from. We always love to find out who's watching and where you're watching from, and gives us an idea of just how far away some of you are. And that's the cool thing about live streaming.
Yeah,
you can be anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
And you can watch high quality bowling action right here on Savage Bowling TV. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment on our videos and live streams. And
tomorrow, if you tomorrow at 10 a.m., the high school girls team finals are going to be live on our page. And those team event matches were really good. And you'll see the first one, the girls tomorrow, and then next weekend will be the boys. Weekend after that, we'll have the All-State, and then finally the Queens on the last Sunday of the month.
all right, before we get too far along here, game number 3 about to start on some of the pairs. Ladies are moving to their new lane assignments here. If you're interested in bowling some of the premier scratch events, or maybe just bowling a tournament with the Indiana USBC, we'd love to have you. Go to indianausbc.com. You can go on the tournament listing page. You'll see all of the tournaments that are available to participate in. Some of the biggest ones in the state have just begun.
Yes.
Not even a month in. Indiana State Open Championships in Terre Haute, that's February 14th. That's now through April 26th. The Adult Youth Championships in Lafayette, that is now through April 18th. Indiana State Youth Open at Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl in Lafayette, that is now through the 19th. Indiana State Seniors, that's in Jasper, that is March 21st through May 6th. And kicking off later this month, the 99th Indiana State Women's Championships right here from Championship Lanes. Youth Masters in Queens, that'll be April 25th and 6th in Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl in Lafayette.
And interesting enough, the 16 players, boys and girls, who make the finals are part of the Indiana-Kentucky All-Stars, which we will broadcast in June.
Yeah.
So that's how they qualify for the Indiana-Kentucky All-Stars.
Well, for entries and dates, go to indianastateusbc.org. You can fill out your form right there, right online. You can also pay right there online. On the Open Championships, there's still squads available down in Terre Haute. You actually will go to USBC's registration site, and you can register and pay right there through that. It's very simple to let you know how many openings are available on team and singles and doubles. Very simple. We hope you want to participate in one of these events. We'd love to have you. Get out and bowl. It's the Indiana State USBC.org.
Yeah, the whole online pane, I mean, that is so convenient. For those associations that may not take advantage of the online pane, I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about sending that into snail mail anymore, right?
I think, honestly, I mean, just because of the convenience, it might help entries. you know, maybe somebody didn't want to mail a check or doesn't know how to get a check there, or they only want to pay cash. Who knows?
Exactly. All right, Clifford, quit making fun of my southern, my poor southern
I saw
speak. Yeah, I'll stick to Midwest Indiana, right? All right, I'm gonna sneak in to the tournament office here. I'm gonna see if I can't get the old-fashioned
The
sheet of
printout.
paper, right? All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, ask and you shall receive. I went into the tournament office and asked them for a
Did they want you to pay for the paper?
nice little printout. No, yeah, no. Zach Spencer, the tournament director, said, "Now, here you go, now get out." And I'm like, okay, all right, we can do that. Hey, special guest here in the broadcast booth, Jordan Gray, head coach of Marion University's bowling team, is going to join us in the broadcast here. Welcome aboard, Jordan.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you in here. I know Chad wanted to talk to you about the test for the U.S. Open. I heard you and several other players were involved in testing patterns with Nick Hoagland, and how did that go?
That was an experience. It was fun. I didn't strike nearly as much as the guy struck this week, so I definitely didn't make them look easy, but it was really fun seeing Nick in his element. So I've known Nick forever, and watching him, like, we had 8 patterns out there, and we tested them, and he was getting feedback from us about, like, what we were seeing, and his main question, he said it in the video, he's going to ask if we threw it well or not, and just be honest. And then he tweaked some and ran 6 more, and
before you go any farther,
yeah,
I would be out immediately as he said, "Did you throw it well?" I'm out, right? He's like, we can't. We got to have better quality than that. So I would be out of that test real quick.
Yeah, it was very interesting because if you people watching us today, get a free moment, give yourself 30 minutes and go watch that video on how they check for lane maintenance and for the U.S. Open and the thought process and all that. It's so interesting. It's very educational for the average bowler too. But seeing what you guys went through, he was like, I need you to play here to here, and taking people out on the lane and doing finger tests. See, you can't play right here. If you miss a board right, you're going to leave it to 8-10.
Yeah, I think what I really respect out of Nick, and I think everybody has their opinions. He's a lane guy, so it's a thankless job, and certainly not going to make everybody happy. But everything he does is so intentional.
Yes.
Like any pattern, when we were talking about it, like he had an idea. He wanted to push the players to play here, and again, 3 angles to win.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make sure you had to play to the right, you had to play the track, you had to play in, and I mean, pattern design, you're not always going to get it perfect, but I think all bowlers should be happy with the fact that there's such a tried and true process, and he is so true, and it's just, I don't know, it was honestly an honor to be part of it. I was asked to be part of it last year, and then we ended up they ended up announcing the patterns early, so we didn't end up doing it, and then being asked to do it again this year is just it was so fun.
So it sounds like, from the timing of the video and when he was talking, you guys were in there Saturday night, the night before the PTQ, and that's when everything was decided. Which is crazy. Because it's a long process, and when you're designing a pattern for a tournament, that is the thought process. Like, hey, I'm gonna make him play the gutter this year, or and it's very different than a house shot where you wanted to be able to play everywhere. But
and we were there for practice on Monday.
Yeah, saw the first pattern,
and they only released the pattern right before they began practice. So while they were practicing the first pattern, they didn't even post pattern 2. It would not get posted until shortly before practice began.
Yep.
It's amazing just how secretive, right, this is. But a quick comment here in the chat. Somebody, Jordan, by the name of Matt Sanders, wants to know your thoughts on pattern 4, because he didn't like it.
I didn't either. I couldn't get on top of it. Nick kept telling me, he's like, Jordan, you got to keep getting on it. And like Jack Laffey had him okay, and Dylan Malo hit him okay. I could not get on top of it enough. I thought the right looked a little bit more friendly watching the pros. But yeah, I didn't like that one. I liked the pattern he didn't pick. I threw like 6 in a row on a pattern, and I was like, yeah, Nick's not picking this one. I'm striking too much here, and if I'm striking, the guys are going to go a million over.
And you guys had to sign an NDA.
Correct.
So you couldn't talk about it until they were all released, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, we were allowed to talk about it Monday after they were announced, but I mean, it's that's 2 days.
Yeah,
we didn't have any insight to give that would be more valuable than what they have learned through the practice session.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He tries to make them as fair as possible, and then sometimes they don't play that way. You know, it's tough sometimes when you're designing patterns.
It looks fun until you have to do it for the U.S. Open.
That's got to be a lot of pressure, though. Like, because you're putting these patterns out for the best bowlers in the world for a major, and now everybody's going to have their opinions, and Nick probably he's used to it. Right?
Yeah.
So somebody's going to love him, somebody's going to hate him.
And probably the majority dislikes. It's anybody that doesn't bowl good dislikes,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
The guy that bowls well.
Yeah, you win the major, you're going to be like, man, those are great
I didn't
patterns.
have a problem. You know, we spoke to Chris Barnes quite a bit on Monday, and I spoke to him yesterday after the squad was round one was done. And Chris, you know, is very analytical. There's so much knowledge and information in Chris Barnes. If you ever get a chance, he's a great guy to talk to because you can really learn a lot.
Yeah.
He's not a big fan of the four patterns. He likes the old way where they bowled on one. You might had, you know, the same pattern and you had a double or you had a burn and then you went back to. So you bowled two fresh and a burn on the same pattern. I get that because the thought or premise behind the four patterns is the versatility. Sometimes you don't always get that. I find it interesting that EJ, I don't care what you put out, he's playing the same part of the lane, it seems like, on every pattern with just a different colored ball. You know, I mean, it's just, but, you know, of course, he's a unicorn for the most part, but, yeah, it's very interesting from that standpoint, I guess.
Yeah, after testing them and then seeing the graph and knowing Nick's idea, specifically with pattern 4, I was really, really, really excited and still am to watch somebody like EJ and a lot of the guys that really like to hook it bowl on pattern 4 where it's really pushing these guys to the right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you saw what Simonson did last night. I mean, oh, my goodness. Like, the ability for those guys to, like, they don't have to show that skill set often where they have to get on top of it because those PBA patterns you typically can get in pretty quickly, the rev rate but watching what these guys have done to move right and be able to stay on top of it, and I mean what Chris Vise he did on Sanders' pair on Friday morning, it was just impressive. They're truly the best in the world, and I hope everybody's able to take a deep breath and realize how good they are.
Well, and I think the four patterns, distinctly different patterns, showcase that much more. I mean, the fact that you guys like, oh, we're gonna take urethane away from you, but you know what? Plastic's still in place. So you saw guys hooking plastic. You know, was that Friday on pattern 3 or Thursday?
Yeah, we saw it a little bit pattern 1 and pattern 3.
Yeah.
Didn't see much on pattern 2, but I think Toon Hakeem maybe threw it on pattern 2. It was looking like he was going to throw that axe on every pattern.
Yeah. So it's just quite interesting. They're always going to find a way. Some of them are going to find a way. Then there's some of them that are clueless, right? Because they just don't match up well or whatever.
And how important is pattern 4 when you really think about it? It's the final pattern to get in to the advantage round, but it's pretty much used the rest of competition.
Well, that's 36 games.
Yeah,
you're bowling on it if you make match play, and
well,
then the TV show pattern. That's the TV show pattern too, right? So.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, and I'd love to get Nick's thoughts. What if you had 3 patterns, or the 4th, and you have the first pattern, second pattern, third pattern, and then in match play you go back to first, second, and third, and you reutilize those patterns because you do have some
match play.
Yeah, but. Because there is a huge emphasis on pattern 4, and it's interesting when you talk to the guys and the ball reps, they said that you might see 10 or 12 guys practicing on pattern 4 on Monday.
Yeah, that's interesting. Not that many people practice.
But when you think about it, how important it is to really hone in that pattern when you use it for so many games. Quite interesting.
And then you can change your arsenal going into match play, right? So now you're coming up with 10 different balls possibly, and you want to, I don't know. For me, I'd probably want to practice just in case, especially if I was one of the top players.
Well, I know, Jordan, coaching college bowling, you have to be amazed at the, I know you're with Marion.
Right.
You have to be amazed at the Wichita. It's like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right?
It's wild.
If you're in the Wichita connection, it's amazing how many of those guys are bowl well. I mean, you have Packy Hanrahan, Ryan Barnes, Mitch Hoope. You have, what do we have? Terrence, TJ Rock in there. Just so many guys that have come through that program that have bowled well. And looking at, obviously, we're going to pay as much attention here to the ladies as possible here, but your top 5 after one game at the U.S. Open is Anthony Simonson, Tim Foy Jr., Chris Vi, Patrick Dombrowski, a very underrated player, and Andrew Anderson has snuck into that top 5. A name to look for, a lot of young bowlers might know, Dylan Jablonski from Canton, Michigan. Somebody had told me the college that he bowled for last year, but he just right out of college and really wasn't what you would call a decorated college player, right? But, man, he is 5 pins out of the show right now after one game at the U.S. Open. But anyway, back to the ladies here.
We got some scores. Well, at least you don't have it on paper, but I
got
TNAP is updated if you all in the chat want to go check it out. I think they still have one person's score to put in.
Yeah,
you can see the gist of it.
after game 1, only 11 ladies even or plus.
8 now. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Yeah.
I need to get connected here to the Google Doc, which I will.
So Marissa Carey is still leading at 433. Melissa Millette, 431. Alexis Carter, 428. Dana File, who's always in the run here, 417. Macy Hatley, 413. Taylor Ellison, 412. Also at 412 is Lisa Jones. And then rounding out the ladies who are plus, at 404 is Abigail Dwyer.
Some Marion bowlers in there. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
They look hard.
Defending champion, right?
Yeah. Well,
Tandis O'Neill, an alum. Yeah, here we go, yeah.
That was awesome to see her win that last year, and the emotion she showed, and she bowled so well.
It's going to be real interesting. Hey, look at this. I got paper copies coming to me. That just shows you my status right now here at the bowling center. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching here this afternoon. A squad here at the Indiana Queens. Scott Gilmore, Jordan Gray, and Chad Lester here in the broadcast booth. And things were a little sensitive here this morning. There's an unusual amount of humidity and warmth in this part of the country here on March 7th, right? Yesterday we had, in fact, I had heard that Lafayette set a all-time high on March 6th for temperature by 5 degrees. It was 77 at one point yesterday.
It felt much warmer than that yesterday too. I was out in it and I was like, this is great.
I walked into Woodland Bowl yesterday at 5 o'clock and it was 74 degrees. I walked out at 10 and it was pretty much about the same. It's just very unusual. As you know, Jordan, when it gets a little bit warm and humid and these synthetic surfaces, especially the approaches, become very sensitive. They don't like humidity. Some of the ladies have had some issues with footing. I know your better half had a little bit of issue and had decided to probably pull out of the A squad, settle back in for the B. It's going to get better. You could already tell the temperature in this bowling center has come down. But as you know, it can be tough with sliding. And we had a few ladies stick and did withdrawal, and then we'll look to bowl later on this afternoon. We should have no issues here as we move forward because we could tell a big difference in the bowling center here.
Yeah, not much makes me miss wood approaches more than humidity. It makes me, All-Star still has theirs, but I feel like they're kind of a thing in the past nowadays.
It's a dinosaur almost anymore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I believe. Now, I don't know. I haven't been down there yet, and I haven't been down there in a long, long time. But Terre Haute, one of the centers down there that is hosting state, has wood lanes, so I'm assuming
Yeah,
there's
they
wood
do.
approaches.
Yep.
That's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Wood lanes. I can't tell you the last time I bowled on a wood lane surface. I imagine the friction is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see. I heard there's a lot of hook down there.
Yeah,
That's always a good thing for lefties, though.
right,
Jordan.
right. Able to get on top of it with the hook. Yeah, I'm thinking, how far left am I allowed to start before my team's yelling at me?
All right, Tandis O'Neill, defending champion on 9 and 10. Game 3 here of 4. Once this squad is done, we'll try to get a word or two with the overall squad leader. Then they'll strip and re-oil for the B squad, and then we'll combine all of the scores, and your top 16 ladies will participate in double elimination single game matches. Always exciting. Great to be here. So much going on in the bowling community right now, in the bowling world here in the state of Indiana, with the U.S. Open going on, the PBA Tour, the Queens going on here. All of the youth state championships are going on here. So a lot of bowling action in the state of Indiana right now. And you guys are getting ready for sectionals,
Yeah.
right? Where are you guys at now?
We're in Addison this year. It's we've never been placed there. The field's strong. I think it's probably the strongest top 4 seeds in the country. I might be a little biased there, but it's going to be a battle. They hook in that building, so we're prepared. We've been practicing heavily on just mitigating mistakes, and it's kind of the name of the game at that level is fill as many frames as possible and hope it's enough.
Yeah, 64 games of Baker play.
Yeah, that's
so
brutal.
much pressure. Only the top 4 teams make it out. Just shows you just how hard it is to get to the finals, right? Because you have a bad weekend, and it doesn't matter. It could be just 2 guys have a bad weekend, and it's going to affect the outcome or whether or not you make it to ITCs or not. And so much pressure from that standpoint.
Sectionals really it does a great job of kind of weeding out the teams that are carried by 4 people, 3 people. Like you cannot do that in Baker format. You've got to have I stress to my teams, you have to have 8 people ready to play a role at any given time. And that's whether I need you to go in and make this 10-pen, or if I need you to make this 3-6-10, or if I need you to go in there and go mark for me. I need you ready to play a role. And I think we've got I probably have 15 guys that'd be willing to play a role right now. So it's just picking whatever 8 I feel like gives us the best chance to make it through. But it's a battle.
That's a good problem to have, having that many players who could start for you.
Yeah.
You know, being that deep.
Well, and you need versatility.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You have to be able to play straight and then be able to curve it.
Right.
And we talk about the U.S. Open. You look at the guys that are in the top 24 when you're bowling on this 4 different patterns. There's a lot of versatility to those guys, and it's pretty amazing how many of those young players today have a lot of college experience. Because of the patterns you guys bowl on throughout the year. When I bowled in college, we had whatever the center put out, right? There wasn't really what we would call uniformity to, okay, this is what we have to do. It has to be sport compliant. They didn't really think about that back then. It was just easier for the proprietors and the directors to, okay, you do whatever you want out there, and that's what we participate
we bowled on 1 or 2 tournaments a year where they were hard.
And it was interesting. It was always the Hoosier Classic.
Hoosier Classic, yeah.
Well, I wonder who runs that one.
Yep.
Yeah, Nick's had his hand on that one for a long. I will have to say,
I felt like it was harder though then than what it is now.
Yeah.
You know, funny story about Nick Hoagland. And you know, in the early days, you had a love-hate relationship with Nick because Nick was so talented. He was such a great player when he was bowling for Indiana that he wanted the better players, the cream of the crop per se, to be at the top. So he challenged he hated when we had to bowl on house patterns, basically for our college tournaments. So he ran.
Yeah.
He ran. We used to have what we called ACUIs, and it was it's actually the unions of all of the colleges that had bowling centers could host the ACUIs, and it was all regionally done, Midwest, and Indiana hosted the ACUIs. So Nick had control of the lane pattern, and Nick just absolutely flooded him brutal. And I remember Trent Burns. I don't know if you remember Trent. He had this ball, and I'm watching him, and he had a screen, and he was sanding it, and it had the roughest surface I had ever seen, but you couldn't get a ball to wrinkle. And I don't think, Jeremy Sonnenfeld, if this name rings a bell, from Nebraska. Jeremy, Mr. 900, one of the early 900s, right? Really good player. Averaged like 201 or 202 on this. Just boat raced everybody else because nobody could shoot like 180. And anyway, it was so impressive, but I just laughed at the time where I'm watching Trent just sand the heck out of this ball. And you could almost see like a rooster tail as the ball went down the lane. It was just
Dust.
a lot of fun. It was funny. As a bowler bowling in it, it didn't, what stunk was at the time, USBCs, which was still ABC at that time, they were still doing the World Team Challenge. So all of us, myself, Ed Smaglik, Andy Dole, we decided to we didn't want to bowl the ACUIs, we wanted to go to the World Team Challenge, and we were forced to go to ACUIs by our coach, and we had to bowl on 60 feet with who knows how 60 mils of oil. It was brutal.
Yeah, and back then that didn't count towards points or anything,
No.
so you felt like you weren't bowling for anything, but really you were. But yeah, I was in the same boat when I bowled ACUIs. I wanted to go bowl something else, and they said no, and I ended up finishing second. But I was mad the whole time I was there because I was like, this is for nothing.
Yeah, it's amazing just
And it was hard.
what has changed in
Yeah.
the world of college bowling from previous years.
Yeah, looking back on it though, it was I enjoyed it, for what it was. But
Yeah, Dylan Jablonski sneaks into the top 5, guys. 490 after 2
Ooh, wow.
today, and
He just lost to Belmo, but he still had 230 out going into the 10th. So he still might be all
EJ
right.
Tackett really struggling with this pattern. 187, 158 start. He's
good.
going the wrong direction.
Yeah, watching him and Belmo both going the wrong direction on the stand, that is it. I feel like my eyes are playing tricks on me.
right?
Like, do we need to refresh it? Like, do they have their scores in wrong? Like, it doesn't seem right. Like, you bowl 56 games, and I anticipate both of those guys, if not on the show, being right off of it. Yeah,
Well, especially like both those guys thrive in the longer formats,
Yeah.
kind of like Simo does, and then you're just not seeing it.
yeah, you give them so much time. I mean, they always say the cream rises to the top, and I mean, 2 of the top 5 bowlers in the world,
Yeah.
undoubtedly. But
Well, and for Belmo, he's becoming one of the senior players on the PBA Tour when you think about it.
yeah,
Tommy Jones is still out there. Tommy's 47. He's the oldest player in the top 24. I asked Chris Barnes yesterday or actually on Monday at practice, if he was going to, what his plans were for what we call the Young Kids Tour. And next year might be it for him, bowling the regular tour on a regular basis. He might bowl a major here and there potentially if he's eligible. He still needs the Masters to finish up the career Grand Slam, so you might see him bowl that for a few more years. But looking at us here now, scores are done here for game number 3 in the Masters. Chad, this end of the house, we're down behind 7 and 8.
Yeah.
The low end of the house was tough in qualifying for the Masters. You're looking at the Queens. I see 196, 194. No games of 200 or better here in front of us. 3 and 4 has always been a tricky pair in this center. 9 and 10, our championship pair, was good in the Masters. And Candace O'Neill here, Jordan, needs to mark here in the 10th frame here to potentially get just to 170. So scoring tough here so far at the Queens.
The Masters, we would see low scores down here, and then we would get the sheet, and we'd be like, where'd those scores come from? And it was all down at the high end.
Yeah, I look for Tandis to bowl again next set. She's gonna get more and more comfortable. Her feet are clearly not matching up, and she hasn't been bowling much. So I would be shocked if she's not back in the second set and a bit more comfortable. I mean, 3-9 outs. We coached her for 4 years. I don't think I saw that in a game a single time. So.
Yeah, and of course, with the approaches being a little tough this morning, speed and tempo, huge here for these ladies.
Yeah, it really magnifies any misstep or really any issue with tempo. You get a little quick. It really makes it rear its head. So I'm hoping that the approaches continue to get better. It's definitely getting cooler in here, which is going to help.
I just now noticed that coming back from the other end of the house. It's like, oh, I'm kind of cool now.
Well, I had a quarter zip because usually it's freezing in here, right? And it's comfortable for the bowlers, freezing for us. And then for a while, it's like I didn't even need a quarter zip. And then all of a sudden, I could just hear in the last half an hour to an hour, I could definitely feel a much cooler difference, which is great for the bowlers.
Yeah, we went from sweating when we were
Yeah.
setting up, and set up, that's not that hard of work, but we went from sweating to now feeling cool, which is good for the bowlers. Now.
Yeah. I think we should be cold as spectators.
Oh, that's how it absolutely should be.
So I'm hoping. I'm starting to get a little chilly. I took my hoodie off.
Yeah, you're just in a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping I have to put it on here again soon. But no, I was thinking back to college bowling. We got a little bit of a break here. I was talking to another NAIA coach, and we were talking about the strides the NAIA has made from an athlete experience standpoint, eliminating the money rule, and how NAIA bowling on the men's side, I think, is getting pretty close to being viewed how NCAA bowling on the women's side is getting viewed. I think as a man, as coming into college bowling, I think you should be looking at these NAIA programs. Just the what is being provided from the NAIA. We have another national championship to bowl for. There's no money restrictions. You're able to bowl whatever. It's just the NAIA is doing a lot of really good things on the all bowling side. The women, we're just competing with the NCAA, but it's college bowling's in a really good spot right now, and we're going in a really good direction. And we have NAIA nationals in 2 weeks, so we come back from sectionals Sunday night, and then we leave for NAIA nationals Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. So
where's that at?
Quick turnaround. We're in Lansing this year. Last year we were in Sterling Heights. Being the defending champion on the men's side, I would love to go back to Sterling Heights.
Of course.
Right.
We were up there for, what were we? The Detroit Tier 1. The women bowled at 5 Star Lanes. And being back there for the first time, so it just, I guess I'll always have good feelings being in that building from now on. But
right.
We're in Lansing this year. I'm excited. A different format. We're doing mega matches just like the NCAA. It's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to the next couple weekends, and I know I'm going to be exhausted.
Well, when you talk about the extra event like the NAIA, it's kind of like the NJCAA, right?
Correct,
National Junior College Athletic Association. They have their championships as well. So that's kind of cool. And now I do like they now have the club championships. So schools that don't officially have or aren't recognized as certain qualifications, whether it's a junior college or like you have NAIA, at least there's another additional event for those that are, I should say, self-funded from that standpoint, right? So, and it's amazing when you think about some of the programs that you have kind of like their own board of directors every year because you have different players coming in and out. Purdue University, my school, it's amazing how, one, it's a difficult school to get in from that standpoint, but it's amazing when you have no scholarship opportunities, the amount of talent that they have at their program right now. And it's cool for them to be able to, because they're considered a club school, that they have now a championship that they participate in. I believe one year it was at Thunder Bowl, but I don't know where it's going to be at here. I know Championship Lanes has hosted it in the
Yeah, it's
past.
somewhere else. I saw it. I can't remember. We broadcasted it for Craig Elliott when he had Bull String, remember?
Yeah.
When it was at All-Star Bowl, and that was fun. It was a fun event to broadcast. And
Yeah, I want to do some more digging on like the eligibility for that, because when I think of club, I think Purdue. I think no funding, no scholarships, but I know there are some clubs that give some bowling money. They're not necessarily affiliated or sponsored by the school. When I think club, I think Purdue, and what Purdue's been able to do the last few years, and not even the last few years. I mean, thinking back to T.J. Schmidt, Ryan Schlosser, and those guys, like that team. That's what I think of. I'm old enough to remember bowling against those guys. Like,
I can go back a lot farther than that too, but yeah.
They've been good forever.
Yeah, they've had really good. Well, the year after I graduated, they were runner-up in what used to be the Intercollegiate Bowling Championships, IBCs, to Western Illinois that had Derek Sapp and some of those really good players. Western Illinois had some really good teams. They were runner-up that year. Of course, they had Ed Smaglick and Scott Tucker and Scott Savage and Andy Dole.
Scott Tucker. Man, I haven't heard that name in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, he didn't bowl anymore. We're trying to get him back in.
I had bowled on that team the year before, so I think it was 2 years after.
2 years, yeah.
Because you graduated, then I bowled, and then the year after that's when they finished runner-up.
So they've had, but you're right.
But
T.J. Schmidt, Player of the Year,
Yeah.
his senior year. They've had Zach Weidman's come through there. I mean, they've had some
Dustin Zahner. They had some good players come through that program.
Yeah, and of course, just recently Ryan Burton, who's trying his luck at the PBA Tour, and he's had some really good regional success and has bowled well, made it through the PTQ at the U.S. Open. So anyway, yeah, Purdue's had some really talented people. You've had some great players at your school as well, at Marion, and Jeff Mann was there for a short period of time. Matt Sanders was there for a period of time. So you've had some really good players that have come through your program as well, and I'm sure it's fun for you to be able to coach these kids and see how they take that information, apply it to the lane, and then apply it to their careers afterwards, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and it's great to still be a resource for them. Seeing like Bailey on the concourse, like Bailey came through Marion, like Jeff, Sanders, Sandy wants to get a session in, let's go get a session in. Like, it's cool still being a resource to them and knowing that I'm here for them. And then I come to the Queens and there's 8 Marion bowlers out here. It's just, it is really fun being part of a program and being able to just see the impact that's made and watching them have success post Marion.
Yeah. And it showed you too just how much older you're getting, right?
Well, you mentioned let's get a session, and you're coaching outside of, college bowling, offering coaching sessions. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah. A lot of that happens a lot over the summer when we don't have college bowling. But the individual coaching side of things has been something I've really enjoyed. The team is my passion, working with the team, watching grow a team, and getting a group of people together working for the same goal. But individual coaching is something I've really, really, really tried to dive into. And I'm hoping to expand that a bit this summer. But yeah, anytime Sanders or anybody wants to get together, I do everything I can to get there, because it feels good to be trusted by really good players. And I feel that way about anybody who comes to Marion to trust Jerica and I, especially parents trusting us with their kid. Man, I wouldn't have trusted 2011 me with a bag of candy, let alone somebody's. But now I've definitely matured a bit, and these people, they're confident sending their kid here, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Great memories too. I don't think people realize, and I know college isn't for everyone, and some players go straight from high school and they want to try their luck at bowling professionally, or they just want to get a job and move on. But one thing I will always say is some of your most fond memories come from bowling on a college team. You travel together, you become a big family. The connections that you create and that you keep are, to me, priceless. And some of my closest friends I met at Purdue University through bowling, and a lot of the guys that I bowled against at other schools I still keep in contact with, and it's always fun to go back and look and share those memories. But yeah, I say it's worth bowling. If you have any interest in going to college, it's worth.
Yeah, and find the right fit for you. What's a perfect fit for somebody isn't necessarily the perfect fit for you. So, yeah, find what fits you. And if a coach is upset you didn't select them to go to their, you shouldn't have gone there in the first place. I recruit a lot of kids that don't end up coming to Marion, and you know what? That's okay. You got to find what's best for you.
Speaking of recruiting, the Indiana State High School Finals, the team show was absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
There are some really talented young bowlers in the state of Indiana. Crown Point
On both sides, boys and girls.
had several. Crown Point had several. Jasper had several. I'm sure Paul Lamond is trying to leverage some of those Jasper relationships right at Vincennes, but I know a lot of times, I don't know what the rules are if you could talk about players, but we watched the singles portion. Lauren, the young lady from Huntington North, who's only a sophomore,
Yes.
Yeah.
she is solid. And there's a lot of good. Morgan Morales
Oh, yeah.
throws it well. Obviously, she swept both the team and singles for her school at Boone Grove.
We're going to see a lot of those two young ladies over the next 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble by anything. I don't know what, I don't know.
you're aware of them, I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
It's great, and giving a shout out, the Bowl Indies. So we see a lot of these kids come down to the Bowl Indies, and we try to go to as many of those as possible. And yeah, just making these connections, and you're talking about sophomores. It's can you,
I
how
know.
much of a connection can you make?
Yeah.
But just being connected with them and talking, they're so talented. It's so fun to watch, and there's some on both sides that we do a little bit more coaching with. They've got with us, and we do some individual coaching. And I mean, yeah, the step ladders were terrific on both sides, and if you look past the step ladders, you had players nonstop up and down that list. So it's
And how important as a coach, being a coach, you recruit, and you could see players in singles event. Do you really pay attention to how they handle themselves in a team environment too as well? Because college bowling is all about the
Absolutely.
team, right?
Yeah, you try to find somebody that you feel will fit with a group. I tell, and how they interact at a high school level certainly plays a role in that. But when you look at college bowlers, and this isn't every college bowler, but 95% of college bowlers were the best bowler or the second best bowler on their high school team. So that means on my JV2 team, I've got guys that were potentially the best on their high school team.
Wow.
So how do you manage that? And then take a step further. So we travel 8 men and women, only 5 bowl. So 3 of them are on the bench waiting for an opportunity, being a supportive teammate. That role matters. And
Absolutely.
I think parents are often the worst because they think their kid doesn't matter if they're not bowling the 10th frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
If you're my 7th guy and the guy in the lineup just missed a 10 pin, I need you to go over there and pick him up. Hey, man, it's all right. You got the next one.
Right.
And having that, watching somebody that is potentially bowling anchor, watch the 2-hole, miss a 2-pin, and go over and pat him on the back. Oh, yeah, that's a note. We're taking a mental note of that one. Being like, hey, this is a good teammate. Somebody
Right.
that would fit in with a group.
Right.
Because I always say coaching, and I think team-based sports are this way, that the best teams are better than the summation of their parts. So if you take 8 scorers around the building and you make a team out of that, would they be better if they were all together, working together, communicating together? they should be. And if they're not, it's a coach issue or it's a personality. So, like, our varsity team it's rarely our top 8 averages. Because we got to find who can play a role. If I need somebody that's a little bit straighter, do I have 8 guys that can only hook it? Well, I'm in a bad spot. I've got to have the guys that can play a little bit straighter. Or if I have 8 guys that play straighter, when we bowl 64 Baker games, we're in a lot of trouble. Right. Because we're going to have to hook it.
Yep.
So putting that all together and finding who can play a role, and it's really important. But, yeah, high school bowling is a great breeding ground of being able to see that and see who's coming up through the ranks. And I prefer more individual events than high school bowling in the team event. But watching team environment, bowling in a team is – there's nothing like it. I wish there were more team tournaments. I wish it's just getting together with people and working together for a common goal. Nothing like it.
All right, scores after 3 games here posted. Marissa Carey leading the way with 233 in her 3rd game, now with a 666 total. Past champion, 2-time champion Alexis Carter right there with 654. Melissa Millette, 639. Taylor Ellison, a name from Lafayette Jeff, our hometown Chad, 634. Rachel Atkins from Fort Wayne, 612. She's tied with Kimberly Woodall, past champion. And Abigail Dwyer, also at 612. And then Lisa Jones, 607. Shelby New
Right there.
and Macy Hadley at 595 are tied for 10th place. So,
Marissa
again,
is so good. Marissa is so good. She's so talented. Like what she was doing on the fresh with, what's the new Storm Ball? I'm blanking on it.
Concept.
The concept.
Yeah.
I mean, wild. She's so talented.
that's been a popular ball in Indianapolis or at Woodland Bowl today or over the week. So, but yeah, so other notable names: Dana File, 577. Bethany Burton, 565.
Your papers here, Scott.
Oh.
Oh yeah, here we go. Allie Clayton from Lafayette, 530. So some scores that are tough. Holly Dukes at 528. Michelle Irwin, 529. Jenny Applewhite, 538. You're going to see a lot of these ladies probably re-enter. Alexis Jones, 500. Of course, daughter of Chris Jones. I always tell everybody, Chris Jones might be the best bowler you've never heard of.
True.
A lot of people don't realize Chris Jones, I believe, was the first high school bowler that won Masters that paid 25 grand, I believe, in scholarship money, if I remember one year. That's been a while ago. Chris has been out of high school bowling for quite some time, but Chris was, it was a national event. I know Scott Savage,
He won one too.
he won it, but he won it the year before it went to big money.
Yeah, it was like 10,000 back then. Yeah, I remember Chris in youth bowling. Everybody talked about Chris Jones and how good he was. And
Chris Jones could hook the ball when a lot of people didn't know how to
Yeah.
hook the ball.
He was so unassuming too. Like even today, like you see him at an event, I mean, you have no idea if he's 200 under or 200 over. Like my dad always tells a story about he was working the office at a TKO, and Chris Jones came in, who was one of my grandpa's favorite bowlers, and hey Jones, how'd you bowl? I bowled all right. And he hands him a sheet. It's like 780. It's like, all right, man. Like,
Well, his daughters have followed suit.
yeah,
Alexis, obviously a state champion in high school ranks, and
he is a proud father, man. Those kids, they work hard. They practice a ton, and one to look out for. So Izzy's had her success winning U12 junior gold. Lexi's won state championship. Look out for Emerson, the youngest one. Can't pull her off the lanes. Anytime I go into Columbus Bowling Center, she is in there bowling, practicing with a purpose. Those girls, they're ate up with it. It's so fun to watch. But we got a little bit of time. I think she's like 8. So I
Yeah.
don't think we'll be watching her in high school for some time.
And the recruiting hasn't started quite yet, right?
Right.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't know what I'd do if I had an 8-year-old. I'd be in big trouble.
Mine's got a way to get to 8.
Then it goes fast.
It does.
Yeah.
It goes fast.
It does. I think to myself, I have a high school senior and a junior, and
You don't realize it until they get to that point. I mean,
Yeah.
that was how I was with my girls. And, yeah, where does time go?
I think it was sobering for me this year realizing that my little brother is 30. Well, how old am I?
yeah. Well, you're potentially are about to have a pretty famous sibling, right?
Yeah.
He's knocking on the door, right? You feel like he's going to make the roster for? He's with the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to tell because when you look at all of the beat writers, they say there's 2 spots in the bullpen that are open, and he's in the mix competing for those 2 spots. And as his brother, I maybe I can speak for. I think he's doing everything he can do. He's had a terrific spring training. If he wasn't on the radar coming into spring training, he's on it now. If he was on it, he's making a decision difficult. And from a coach standpoint, I always tell my guys, make my decisions difficult.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing that to them. So I hope he just keeps doing his thing. He's throwing well. He developed another pitch this off season, so he's a 4-pitch guy now. And velo's up a little bit this spring for him. He's like averaging 92.8. He's been up in the 94s, but yeah, we have opening day circled there in Philadelphia at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a 9-hour drive.
Yeah.
So if he's on the roster, we're gonna find our way there.
Absolutely.
But he's playing well. It's been fun to watch.
It's amazing though. If you go back just 10 years, and your brother's topping out at 94, 95 miles an hour, but averaging almost 93. He's a lock, right? Now it's like 94, 95 is on the lower spectrum of what you have starting pitchers throwing 99 to 101, 70 times a start. It's just, it's absurd at what these guys are able to throw on a consistent basis. And I follow. I know your dad posts a lot about him, and I'll follow along, and I pay attention. And it's really cool to see someone, from our state, vying for a spot on a major league roster. And I wish him all the best. And
yeah, it's the velocity side is just absolutely absurd nowadays. Like, yeah, all the advanced metrics are everywhere. So I'm always on TJ Stats, and I think Peyton's average velo is like 92.8, and it's like decently below average. And I'm with you, Scott. I had a high school teammate that threw 93, and he was committed to go to Louisville, and he got drafted, and he was the man. And now every college roster has people throwing in the mid-90s, and pros, everybody's throwing. Yeah, I think 94, 95 is the average now.
crazy.
Bizarre.
All right, we're almost done here with qualifying here at the Indiana Queens. You're watching on Savage Bowling TV. Scott Gilmore, Jordan Gray, and Chad Lester here in the broadcast booth. Scores tricky this morning. It'll be interesting to see how much this lane pattern will change when we strip and re-oil for the B squad. We'll have final scores and hopefully a word or two from the qualifying leader here right now, which would be Marissa Carey. She's got only a 12-pin lead here on Alexis Carter, two-time champion of this event.
Some really good bowlers, man. And if you look at the top four, the low score for the first three games out of those four players is 191. It's a lot of grinding, a lot of staying it. Shoot the number when you got it. I know Marissa, she shot 205 the second game, but I think she struck in the 9th and threw the first 2 in the 10th. Like, that's a Pro Bowler move there, saving a game with a 3-bagger. So it's been really fun to watch. You look down at 7th, you got Abby Dwyer, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Like, just staying out of Shelby New, past champion of this event. 2-0, 150, 230, but you know she can throw some strikes in this building. So I'm excited. I'm hoping I'm watching match play as a spectator of somebody bowling.
Oh, she's bringing some lunch to you.
Yeah, I'll go to her. I won't eat into the mic.
Well, we appreciate you watching here.
Absolutely.
If you enjoy the broadcast, subscribe. We would encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of the premier scratch events from the state, and then obviously the official voice of Indiana High School Bowling right here, Savage Bowling TV. Tomorrow we'll be at Woodland Bowl for the U.S. Open telecast. We'll have some behind-the-scenes interviews and footage, and hopefully chat a conversation with the champion, whoever that may be, awesome. Tomorrow. And it's looking at the standings after 3 games of match play here they have posted. Anthony Simonson still out in front. Ryan Barnes 3-0 in this block with solid games of 237, 257, 245. He's still 250 out. E.J. Tackett struggling here this morning. He's all the way down to 14th, 250 pins out. The top 11 guys starting to separate themselves a little bit from 12 on down. And Toon Hakeem, a name to think about here or keep in mind, he's 7-1 yesterday, 2-1 today. So he has 9-2 so far after 11 games. And he finds himself in the top 5, just 7 pins ahead of Andrew Anderson.
It's going to be tough to make up ground for some of these guys. The scoring pace is so high. Like, I mean, these guys are making this pattern look so easy. Like, you're shooting 230 and losing ground. Jablonski just shot 211, lost, dropped off the show. Like, man, it's going to be hard. Those wins are going to be really, really important down the stretch.
Yeah, he goes from 5th to 7th, and in, and now he's 38 out. So, yeah, a lot of bouncing around at the U.S. Open. We'll keep an eye on the scoring there throughout today. They'll bowl 8 games this morning, and then I believe they don't come back until 5 o'clock this evening for final round of match play. Different scheduling this week. In the past, the U.S. Open has been on the front end of the schedule to where they could actually have match play done on Friday night.
Pro-Am on Saturday.
But with being in the middle of, I shouldn't say middle, it's only, week 3. We're already 2 majors in, right? Week 3, and pretty busy schedule. They have no break. You're going to bowl 16 games today and then think about coming in and bowling tomorrow morning. I'm sure they're going to be on the set probably around 1 o'clock. They'll have a practice session on the TV pair. So these guys, after today, are going to be worn out. And
I don't know how they aren't already. They're bowling so much. It's 56 games for the show. Like, I don't think people understand how much bowling that really is.
Yeah, and I remember EJ told us one time it's not the physical part that wears you out, it's the mental part. It's all of the mental grind and paying attention to what your ball's doing and all of that. It's not that you're bowling 56 games and your legs are tired or your wrist hurts. It's the mental part.
Yeah, 56 games on the house shot doesn't sound that bad.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
what center are you bowling in, Jordan?
Yeah.
Well, how much of an advantage is it for a two-hander who doesn't have the wear and tear of their thumb?
Right.
I know it's a different form, right? You're a little bit lower to the ground. You're a lot more turning of the torso for a two-hander to open those shoulders up a little bit more, but still, not to have that wear and tear on the thumb is huge.
Yeah, I was talking to Jerica last night about how impressive Pat Dombrowski is. because he uses. I don't think he uses any tape. He's like old school. Have a couple new skin patches, but like 56 games, no tape, no tear. Like I don't. I mean, I can't get through 3 games of league. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit too much of a squeezer nowadays, but I gotta have some tape on my hand, man. And he's 56 games, no tape. Yeah, these guys are aliens.
Well, I get frustrated when these players don't get credit for the athletes they are. You go out and bowl 16 games in 2 days and tell me how your body feels.
Yeah.
Just 16 games.
Yeah.
We're talking 56 for these guys. Week after week after week, they're bowling at least a substantial amount because that doesn't even factor in practice and all these other things that they do, right? So I will challenge anyone to tell me how they would feel after bowling that number of games. Your hips, your shoulder, your wrist, all these things, your slide leg. I remember going to Las Vegas to bowl the high rollers and all that, and you're only bowling 2 or 3 games, but you're doing it in a start and stop, and then day after day after day, if you weren't in shape, your slide leg was on fire after a certain number of days. So these guys are athletes, no doubt about it.
That's a good point because, just like I just mentioned, EJ said it's not the physical part, it's the mental part. It's because he's in shape.
Yeah.
They're all in shape, and
EJ is, EJ reminds me a lot of Mike Fagan from a standpoint of Mike Fagan. Look him up, Google him, YouTube him. They called Mike Fagan Gumby. EJ's a lot like that because there's a lot going on that doesn't look like there's a lot going on. He is so clean at the bottom, so much quick snap that it looks effortless. You think, oh, I can rev it like that.
Yeah.
No
I don't
way.
care how long you try. You're not doing it like he's doing it.
No.
Mike Fagan was the same way. Now, Mike didn't have the rev rate that EJ has, but Mike could make it look so effortless, and he's so smooth and clean. And Patrick Dombrowski is very clean at the bottom as well. You really want to watch a guy that can really play the game. You'll never hear the ball hit the lane. Just really, you appreciate when you watch talent like that. But, yeah, Mike Fagan, very similar to EJ, just a little bit less rev rate, but that real quick, smooth release at the bottom, and there's a whole lot on that ball.
he could do it all, too. I wish he still bowled. Like, even if he just showed up to the majors, like, he could fire it up the gutter. He could slow hook it. Like, he just do everything.
Yeah.
It's cool to see Robert Smith out there.
Yeah. And
Bowling.
bowling pretty
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
too. Like, I know he didn't finish where he probably hoped to, but
Yeah.
He could still spin it.
I forgot of how deep of a voice Robert Smith has.
Uh-huh.
Especially the older he's got, it's real, gravelly, and if that's a word.
Yeah.
I might have just made something up there. I don't know.
He's done some videos for
Hammer.
Hammer, yeah.
Yeah, he's on Hammer
And,
staff. I'm telling you, when Robert was in his prime, holy mackerel, he could do stuff to a ball that I've never seen done before. He was a two-hander before two-handed really came out as a one-hander because his rev rate, Maximum Bob, obviously the nickname, but yeah.
he never lost the race to the left gutter, that's for sure.
No. And that's the thing, like, talking with Chris Barnes, just how much bowling has changed from when he was out on tour in his prime, right? Because nobody was really as good as Chris back in his day, to now, is that you could stay in a certain part of the lane so much longer than you can now.
Yep.
And people always talk, oh, they're already into fifth arrow. Well, that's because 10 to 15 is blown up, right? And, you talk about urethane, and they obviously know urethane at the U.S. Open this week, but you would hear guys like Bill O'Neill, they hope to stay in urethane on some of these patterns for a game. And they're immediately going left. EJ never been a fan of urethane. He loves urethane when it's thrown because he can figure out a way to
Creates hold.
get to the hook spot and then creates hold at the head pin, right? So, but yeah, it's just different game today than it was 15 years ago. And really, Jordan, it seems like to me at some point, I don't know where that is, what year that is, but the one-handed game is going to be, you're not going to see as many, right?
Nope.
It's going to be, wow, there's still a one-hander out here, right? When you look at the youth, and we watched the state finals, Jasper and Crown Point, I believe there were only like 3 kids out of 10 that threw it one-handed. Now, there was a couple. One of the Sheets throws it really well one-handed. There was some good players. Colin Albright, who won singles, was, I believe he's two-handed though, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't see very many one-handed kids anymore.
No.
I don't have a problem with it because I think it's allowed the game to grow.
The people need to adapt, and I'm sure as you, as a coach, have had to adapt as well.
Yes. Yeah, we coaches have to adapt, and I think over in Ohio they do it so good with Ron Hatfield. He does a really good job of coaching the two-handed game and coaching coaches on the two-handed game.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of coaches that are still a little reluctant to it, or they just don't understand it, and you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, it's a different way of coaching, and you just because the moves you would make or you would instruct a two-hander are totally different than you would a one-hander. We might go, hey, I would go 2 and 1 left or whatever, right? You're going 2 and 1 is 2 arrows.
Yeah.
For a two-hander at times. So just the amount of rev rate and amount of hook they can generate. And that was always the thing, too, when Jason Belmonte was making his impact on the game on the PBA Tour. And you would watch him in qualifying, and I'm bowling the Masters. I'm trying to hit this little 3-board area, right? And, Jason was trying to create 8 boards of hook or miss room, right?
And he's probably successful.
Yeah, it's just a totally different game. So, all right, looks like games are wrapping up. I'm checking out scores in front of me. We have a 224, 215, so some games better here in front of us.
200 right here on lane 8.
Yeah, 9 and 10 into the 10th frame, but majority of the pairs are done.
Looks like this is the only pair going on.
As
1 and 2
soon
just
as we,
finished.
as soon as we get final scores, we'll end the broadcast here. Some scores are already in, and then we'll try to get the leader here of the A squad in the booth. Only 11:49, so they got a little over an hour here to run lanes for the next squad.
Yeah, next squad will start maybe a little bit late. They haven't started.
We don't like that, Chad.
I know.
It looks like the machine's
He started
going down.
down. He started down. It takes about an hour and 25 minutes to run all of them.
Oof, that swig of coffee was ice cold. I'm not there's a lot of people like iced coffee. I'm not,
No.
coffee is made to be warm for me. I'm 2 though, I'm done. I'll be bouncing off the backdrop here if I have another one. I see Brianna Long is bowling. She's got a split here on the 10th. Good to see her dad here today.
Yep. He came by and said hi.
Brianna was a really good young player. I believe bowled at Indiana Tech. Was that right?
That's right. Well, yeah, then went to Lord's.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
at Lord's. Did she go to Indiana Tech or did she go to
She went somewhere else.
Ancilla?
Yes, that's what it was.
That's what it was,
to
yeah,
Lord's.
yeah.
Yeah, because she
Because
went with Al Franklin
Yeah,
because he
and
coached
then
up
he
there.
left and she
Yeah.
followed him.
Yeah, you know more about that than I do, Jordan.
Yeah.
There's so many schools when I bowled
many.
that weren't even in existence
Yeah.
that we know of. They
Yeah,
could
you
have
look
been
at
there,
these-
but they just didn't have programs, right? It's fascinating the number of teams somebody will, say, "Oh, have you heard of this school?" And I'm like, "Where's
Who's
that
that?
at?"
Yeah.
And I have no clue. And
And they're good. I mean,
Yeah.
people who haven't been around college bowling in, 10, 15 years probably have no idea about Mount Mercy.
Uh-huh.
And they're arguably the most talented team in college bowling in the last 2 years.
Right.
They're so good, and they're coached well, and everybody knows about Wichita. But, yeah, the teams that are popping up nowadays.
well, SCAD.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Katie Thornton runs a terrific program down there. Nothing but respect for those guys and those women down there. It's college bowling is it's in a great spot. It's tough for us because there's so many opportunities for kids. Like being in Indiana, like, oh, I'm going to go bowl in college. Or I'm going to go to Vincennes. I'm going to go to Calumet.
Right.
I'm going to go to Purdue, be on the club team, and
Yeah.
now you got to go to Marion, go to Indiana Tech. We have there's so many good programs in Indiana, and in this area in general, it makes it really hard to recruit.
Well, then there's schools in Indiana that no longer have programs.
Right.
You know, what, Ball State might be one of those.
Yeah, Ball State hasn't had a team in a couple years now.
Indiana only has a men's team.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Purdue those programs still like fading away just shows the hard work that the people in the Purdue program have done.
Yes.
The like the board where I think currently like Lucas Francis is big in it, and then like they're coached super well. Like it's the work they've done to keep that program not only going but competitive.
Well, when
So
they
impressive.
took over, there wasn't a women's program, and now they have a women's program again.
I think they might even have a women's JV team.
Yeah,
They've gone
they
from
do.
no team
Yeah, they
to
have.
having
Yep.
more than 10, 12. Like,
So to be able to build that up, you know,
Yeah.
from nothing, it's not easy. I'm sure.
I wish they got more love from the school. They put in a lot
Right.
of work for no love from the school.
Yeah.
So.
All right, just a handful of scores yet to be entered in. Some changes here will be in the top 10. We'll get to those here in a minute as some of the games have been added in. And I believe we have the final shots thrown here on A squad.
Abby got to 211 that game. Just a grinder set, 204, 20, 208, 211.
Trying to see, they haven't entered Marissa's yet,
Yeah,
and that would be the one to see if she's still leading.
Melissa Millette is at 863, so Marissa's going to have at least a 198 or better game to hold on to that top spot. Right now we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7 800 series. That is for 4 games. Alexis Carter with a 183 finish. She is at 837. And I'm telling you right now, based on the scores, Jordan, if I'm shooting 800, I don't know if I'm bowling any more.
Yeah, no
Now,
way.
I would agree.
If I'm in the top 8 of this squad, based on the scoring, I don't know if
Because you would think this should be the higher of the two squads. Always the first squad is most of the time. is
What's
higher.
it cut to this year?
16.
16.
Okay.
So when you think about it, if you get 160 bowlers and only 16 make match play, that's a dogfight,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To get into the match play portion of this event.
How many do they need to get to 32 bowlers?
That's
Is there a number?
That's a great question. I think if you get to that number, this is a 2-day event.
Yeah.
It has to be, yeah.
We're already
That's
looking at probably what over 3 hours.
3 hours, and then you're looking at another, 5 hours.
Yeah, you're
It'd be
throwing
total
in
5
another
hours, yeah.
hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
You're looking at a Sunday finish, if that's the case. That would be absolutely fantastic
Yeah.
if that happened. I'd love to see more ladies enter and love to see this become a 2-day event.
I remember when this event was a 2-day event,
Yeah.
and I think the second day it was like round robin match play or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Gave me old youth masters in Queens vibe. I remember
Yes,
that. The
yeah.
top
When
16.
it was a two-day,
yeah.
I remember bowling in that.
You had all the qualifications throughout the year, and then you would
Well, it'd
you
be
have that
throughout-
weekend.
Throughout the state tournament.
Yep.
You would go to the third, if they had a third center in
Yeah.
that town and bowl, and then they had the finals.
All right, while we're waiting for the final scores to be entered, we'll take a quick look here after 4 games of match play. A lot of jostling here in that 5th to 8th spot, right? And now after 4 games, Anthony Simonson is still way out in front here, leading the way. But Andrew Anderson with a 246 and a win jumped back into that top 5. Toon Hakeem, 215 with a win. He's only 24 pins out, 10-2. That is a phenomenal match play record for Toon Hakeem. And A.J. Johnson gets back in the win column with the 247, and he only finds himself 55 pins out of the show. Halfway done with match play round number 2. And Ryan Barnes, 224 and a loss. That's a good loss, but he shoots 224 and he finds himself from 250 pins out to 299. So it's just so hard to gain ground once you get to a certain number of pins out. Somebody to keep an eye on who's bowling quite well is TJ Rock from Wichita, Kansas, the Wichita State product, only 65 out in 8th place. And E.J. Tackett just cannot get any momentum going. He's 1-3 in the round, 220 and a loss. He's 300 pins out. And two of the crowd favorites there, three really, to be honest with you, Jordan, all in a row. 16th, 17th, and 18th. E.J. Tackett, Kyle Troop, Jason Belmonte.
I was thinking I'd be able to say, oh, here comes EJ at the end of the block. But, man, 220 and a loss. It's so tough.
2 years ago, the U.S. Open, all three of those were on the show together.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
That was the year Kyle ran the ladder, right?
Yeah, Kyle won that, I believe. It was, what?
24?
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 24.
What could be said as one of the greatest top fives in history.
It was solid. Bill O'Neill was in that show.
Yeah.
He just the number of majors won, but the number of tournaments won. And it's hard to think E.J. Tackett, 27 titles already. And think about this. Imagine if he had, even Jason Belmonte, had the schedule that you saw in the late 80s. Who knows how many titles these guys would have won.
Oh, yeah.
They're breaking all the records.
When they were bowling 32 times a year. Now, of course, those guys wouldn't have bowled 32 events. You had the luxury of taking some weeks off back in those days. But I guess we should be happy that we have some type of professional tour. But, yeah, let's see if we have qualifying done here.
Not yet. Still a handful of scores.
Oh, we're going to have a new leader in the clubhouse.
Oh, they just entered it, literally.
Yeah, Melissa Millette.
Yep.
224 her last game, 863. Leads the way.
The last 3 games.
Yeah, solid. 240, 208, 224. Let's see if we can maybe try to track her down. But your scores here.
I'll go on a hunt.
Marissa Carey with 838. Alexis Carter, 837. Rachel Atkins, 814. Abigail Dwyer, 823. Lisa Jones, 802. Kimberly Woodall, 801. Taylor Ellison, 805. So we have only 8 players, Jordan, at 800 or better. Now, we don't have all the scoring in, so unless Chelsea Kiefer shoots 240 her last game, we won't have any more. But still, it just shows you how difficult they are. But also weather having a big impact, not necessarily with footing, but even lane pattern. The humidity can play havoc with some of these patterns and conditions and where you have to play. And it'll be interesting to see who all re-enters from this standpoint. But you got to imagine the top 8 girls will probably not re-enter.
Yeah, I would not. If I had plus or even number, yeah, I'm hanging out. I'm eating some of the good food here and just watching.
Yeah, we do love coming to Championship Lanes. Angie Collop, the general manager, does a phenomenal job hosting these events. Obviously, Dave Small, the proprietor, loves hosting scratch events and tournaments and PBA. And Chad back in the booth. Any luck, Chad?
No. And, of course, everybody has their jackets on because it's cold. So
yeah,
I do remember seeing her because she had her name on her back. But I did not see her. She could have had her jacket on, too.
What we need to do is have Austin or Zach have her come into the tournament office so we can.
Yeah, there you go. Grab her on her way in.
Yeah, you want to do that real quick before we head off? All right. We'll stick here in the broadcast booth. Scott Gilmore, Jordan Gray here with you. And, Jordan, you're going to be leaving us because you're going to have some more important things to do hopefully here in about a little over an hour.
Yeah, you do my favorite thing, line people up and hope they execute. it's my favorite thing.
Yeah. So hopefully we get a word here with Melissa before we leave the broadcast. And, again, thanks for watching the Indiana Queens here from Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana. And our sponsors, Victory Lanes Pro Shop, Pinheads Entertainment, Mike Alby's Arrowhead Bowl, A1 Automotive, the Brands of Brunswick and Championship Lanes and Indiana USBC for making this broadcast possible. So, again, we're going to wait here on Melissa, and we're going to have the person behind the counter turn off the radio before we get in trouble here by YouTube.
It's blaring, too.
Yeah. All right, we're going to just take a quick pause. We'll be right back here with hopefully a word from our number one qualifier here at the Indiana Queens. You're watching it on Savage Bowling TV. All right, welcome back here in the broadcast booth. Scott Gilmore. I'm with number one qualifier here so far after the A squad, Melissa Millette. And wow, what was it, 863, I believe it was, 224 your last game. What were you doing out there that scores were tough?
They were.
And the last 3 games, 240, 208, 224. What was working for you?
Striking and not trying to pick up spares.
What part of the lane were you playing at?
I was playing straight up 4-5, just 4-5 board, just trying to stay focused, keep my head down, and straight up the boards.
Now, were you throwing a ball with surface, or were you throwing something a little bit shinier?
I am throwing a ball with a little surface. I have the Cuda C.
Okay.
So it's kind of been my go-to, my little rock that I've been playing with for the last probably 4 months.
Now, what does it feel like after 4 games to look at the standing sheet and you're at the top of the leaderboard? Now you get to sit back and relax a little bit, right? And let B squad go, and you can wait until 5 o'clock until match play.
I'm bowling.
Are you going to bowl? All right.
I think I need to practice my spares.
Okay.
I need to get a little bit more confidence in that. And, I don't want to sit.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Well, and that's great. Now, match play is totally different. You know, we have single game, double elimination. How cool would it be for you to end the night and put a banner up there on one of the masking units and take away the tiara this evening?
Very cool. I think it's one step at a time. I'm looking forward to bowling with some teammates I got out there.
Okay.
I'm hoping they make the cut as well. Got Marissa Carey bowling. She's my Tuesday night teammate. So.
All right. Well, hey, you guys both bowl well. Now, she struggled a little bit her last game. She was right there at the top. Only shot 173 her last game. But still, she's comfortably inside that number. And right now, only the top 8 ladies plus so far. So a lot of people are going to ask, where are you from?
Homewood, Illinois.
All right. And what's your home center?
Home center is Stardust 3 in Dyer, Indiana.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure everybody back home watching, anybody you want to shout out to here today that might be watching the broadcast this afternoon?
I'm lucky enough to have my daughter and my husband here.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you for the support, as well as my in-laws are here. So maybe my dad's watching at home. So hi, Dad.
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there. But, it's always great to have, be able to talk to the competitors after the round. And I know it's got to be exciting to, obviously the biggest ladies event here in the state. We love coming here to broadcast the Queens, and great bowling, by the way. Low game of 191, and so obviously you're not shooting a ton of spares, right, when you're shooting 240 and 220s a game. But 863, Melissa's total score. She's the number 1 seed here, and we appreciate you stopping by the broadcast booth, and best of luck, and we'll see if you can top that, right?
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right, Melissa, everyone, that'll wrap things up here for A Squad here at the Indiana Queens. We appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe here, our YouTube channel, for all of the great action here in the state of Indiana. B Squad will be coming up in about 1 o'clock, so we hope you stick around and watch that and see if this young lady here can top her 863 score here after the A Squad. Thanks for watching here on Savage Bowling TV. We'll be back here later on in the afternoon for the B Squad. So long, everyone.